Hey, this is Devon Allman. You are listening to Rock at Night.
Are you ready? Hey, tonight I'm gonna take you on a little trip. We're going down south by the mighty Mississippi. I'm gonna take you to a place where lights never dim. Bring your mother, your brother, and your best friend. I'm gonna show you where they dance out in the street. They'll tell you all about your body heat. I'm not gonna talk about it, just gonna do it. Get on down, if you feel up good now. Get on down.
This is Anita
Okay.
Stewart with Rock at Night, and today we're chatting with Devon Allman, Greg Allman's son. He's heading up the Allman Betts Band with Duane Betts, Dickie's son, and Barry Oakley Jr., Barry Oakley's son. So this band is really forging their own path and creating a musical legacy all their own. With 2 albums already, Bless Your Heart was the latest one, and the one before that from 2019 was Down to the River. Fans are anxious to hear even more from this band. This week, the band is embarking on a huge tour with the first leg happening here in Florida this week. And tonight is the first show out of 2 in Key West. And we'll be actually covering your show at Ruth Eckerd Hall in Clearwater,
Awesome.
Florida on Friday. And if you guys remember, I covered your show in Pittsburgh at Jurgles back in April of 2019. That was a great show.
We like Jurgles.
Oh, Jurgles is an amazing venue. It's like a rockers supper club. It's really cool. And I'm glad they were good to you guys there. So I don't know. I walked through the parking lot and people had come in from everywhere for that show, from Kentucky, Ohio, Michigan. I saw all kinds of tags. So yeah, it was sold out. So let me talk a little bit about the band. So you guys got together in 2018, but how did you all connect with all the rest of these stellar musicians? And we're talking about Johnny Stashella, R. Scott Bryan, John Lum, and John Ginty. How did that all get put together?
Well, it's just like when you do this for a living, man, you run in the same circles as a lot of the same cats. Like, who can get the job done, who's ready to kind of come up from the minor leagues, so to speak, like on a baseball team, like, oh, that guy would kill it. Even though maybe he's not touring right now, that guy could come in here and just murder it. That was the case with Johnny Stachula, and it is pronounced Stachula. And don't worry, everyone messes that name up. Johnny was a fixture on the Los Angeles music scene, the really cool underbelly of the hip, real players music scene, not the cats just trying to get famous, but the cats that really went out there and jammed at the baked potato and did the real shit. And he's been a friend of mine for over a decade, and Duane's as well. And when Duane wanted to bring him into the fold, it was like, duh, like he's a slide maestro. Our music can use that, so it was a definitive thing. The 2 drummers played in my solo project, and they just had really locked in with everybody over the course of a 2018 tour. And we could have gone, and just kind of switched that up, but they were really on a roll. So they're great drummers. They're great guys. R. Scott Bryan was in Sheryl Crow's band for years and years. John Lum. John Lum is one of the more coveted drummers, was on the St. Louis scene until we poached him and made him an international drummer. Those cats were in the right place at the right time in a good way. And they got the chance to go on my solo tour in 2018, and they just killed it, and it made sense to have them just keep on going, And then John Ginty, I acted in an indie TV show with him in 2010. We hit it off. We're brothers. He's played with Robert Randolph and Dixie Chicks and,
Wow.
Wu-Tang Clan. His resume is, if you could unroll it, it would go out the door. Right. So, great cat, great player. He's kind of our unofficial musical director. He doesn't really bark at people what to do. But if you're ever lost, you just look over at John Ginty and he's like, he knows right where you are. So he's our musical compass, our musical GPS.
Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible. Yeah, when I saw him on stage back at Jurgles in 2019, I was amazed. He was really doing some incredible solos, and I was just wow, not solos, but features.
So you're not the only one, baby.
Yeah. So, what makes this band important for your legacy as a musician? Because for people that don't know, you were with Honey Tribe, Royal Southern Brotherhood. You had your own band called the Devon Allman Project. So what takes this a step further for you?
Well, this just combines everybody. This is Barry, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, all of us individually have had really long careers, and in a lot of ways that helped us get to this point. So, we all went out and did our own projects and different studio work and whatnot. And it really just helped pave the way to this project. So when we all came together here, we weren't wet under the ears, so to speak, and, knew how to approach this kind of touring and music and big band and so forth. So it's really just about growing. And, for us now getting in our being middle-aged men ourselves now, it's about passing it on, kind of like what our fathers did. We have our music, obviously, with 2 records and then another to come. And then, of course, we do a little bit of our father's music when we're feeling it. So I know for me, a lot of it's just about passing on what, we learned and our fathers learned. And, that's kind of what we're here to do, is pass that same feeling on. And whether it be for the fans or the future musicians.
Both.
Yeah. Yeah, both. That counts.
Yeah, I mean, I think, Barry's saying, like, before this, between well, really every musician in the band, we just said R. Scott played with Sheryl Crow, John Ginty played with Dixie Chicks. Barry played with Chuck Negron, Three Dog Night. He played with Robbie Krieger from The Doors. He was singing Morrison's vocals,
Right.
And Duane Betts was in a band called Dawes, which are have a name on their own right. And Duane Betts was in Dickie Betts' band, and I jammed a ton with the Greg Allman band, and I played with Cyril Neville from the Neville Brothers. So, like, I think what Barry's getting at is, like, we all kind of did a lot of higher profile things that really helped our names individually coming together. So coming together, it's not just an Oakley, a Betts, and an Allman. It's the 3 of us having done 20 years of work.
Right. So it's all with the timing. It's just
but
like
you asked me how it was different from my other bands that I've had, and I think I always kind of go back to this. I feel like I was couch surfing on friends' couches for 20 years, and I finally kind of bought a house, and this house is everybody's house in this band, and what is a house? It's a place you can come back to when you're done foraging and going outside of the house. You come back. So, if a guy makes a record, or if a guy, I don't know, we can always come back here.
right. It's a safe place.
I don't know about that.
Tell our listeners a little bit about the tour. It looks like you're going just about everywhere. This week, Florida, you're going to do Key West tonight and tomorrow night, and then Delray Beach, and then Clearwater, and then up in North Florida and beyond. Are there a few places that are on this tour list that you haven't been to that
Nope.
you're anxious to check out?
Nope.
Yeah, can't say that. Yeah, we've been pretty fortunate to hit a lot of these. So
Yeah.
it's nice to come back.
In the next 12 months, we have some pretty sexy things like Japan, Finland, things like that. But as far as, like, the leg of the tour that we're on now, there's a lot of Florida, man. There's like a week and a half or something like that. And then we head up the East Coast and we do some, like, Virginia, and we end up doing Jersey, New Hampshire, Vermont. These are places, that we've been doing for 30 years, whether it's this band or another band. So always a pleasure. East Coast is always, the Beast Coast, as we call it. It really, always really embraces this style of music, especially the Northeast, oddly enough. So yeah, looking forward to New England and, a little cooler temperatures up there, a little ocean breeze. Looking forward to the stuff out of the country. We're just lucky to do this. I mean, we used to tag along with the Allman Brothers as kids, and felt really lucky to be able to do that. But now it's like, now we're the grown-ups. Now it's our bus. Now our kids are coming out on the tour with us.
That's
Full
wild.
circle, wild shit. My son comes out in a few days and I'm like, wow, that was me like not long ago.
Yeah. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the music on Bless Your Heart, and actually the title, because I don't think people realize that this is kind of a colloquial expression, like bless your little heart, when you're dealing with someone that's a difficult person or.
I think people realize it.
Well, I just thought it was a Southern thing. So.
Well, I mean, it is, but I think word's gotten around by now.
But so why did you use that as the title?
A lot of the imagery in the lyrics, a lot of the song titles were very Southern. A lot of the aesthetic of the music was very Southern. Most of us are from the South, grew up in the South. I thought it'd be funny, like, why don't we use a Southern term? And that came up. And then it was like, oh, well, that's kind of double meaning. Like, you can really be sincere, like, hey, bless your heart, bless your heart for continuing to support music of this kind. And the other half is kind of like, oh, bless your heart, you thought this kind of music was dead. Bless your heart, which is kind of, just a fun little burn for us. We thought it was like maybe something the Stones might have used as an album title, and it just stuck,
Right.
It was supposed to be fun.
Now, Savannah's Dream was a song that really got to me as I was going through all the songs. I mean, Pale Horse Rider, even before I saw the video, I thought right away, Cowboys. And then airboats and cocaine just reminded me of Florida so much. But Savannah's Dream just seemed like it had almost every genre in there: jazz, fusion, rock, Southern rock. And Barry went off on the bass at some point, I think after the 9-minute mark, and he was doing some Jaco Pastorius stuff there. But tell the listeners where that song came from.
Well, that was Duane Betts. He'd kind of been noodling with that for about a year or so now. He put a few of the parts and, he'd noodle it at sound checks and backstage. And we just kind of, everybody knew that he was up to something, and knowing that Betts' legacy, we kind of just let him do his thing, which, very much like his father, he learned how to glue all these pieces together. And then when he brought it to the band, he let everyone, kind of be themselves. Like, even though he had the song and the idea, and then he presented it to all of us and we sat down and, oh yeah, Duane was really great at, making it a band song. He didn't come in and like tell everybody, okay, you have to play this, you have to play that. Everyone, down to the 3 guitars, just nail it. They just interflow so perfectly, and the groove and the keyboards. I mean, it is a really great representation of that Betts instrumental, writing style, much like his father did with Jessica or Elizabeth Reed. But the beauty is with this band too, again, I mean, Duane really just let everybody shine. And like just told us all, do your thing, here's the parts. And I know for me on the bass thing, it was awesome for me because he just let me go. He's like, just do whatever, and I'll tell you if I don't like it. And he hasn't said anything yet, so I think he liked what I did.
Yeah, I loved the way the bass line kind of went higher than the melody in a few points, and I thought that really reminded me of Jaco Pastorius and the stuff that he used to do with Pat Metheny and Joni Mitchell. I was going, wow, that's really incredible. And I had never heard anything like that in the other songs you guys had done. So yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah, no, it's fun. I mean, we do a lot of that kind of stuff in our live show. I mean, you'll see the songs that we do on our records, and we have little sections in between where, if you come to the live show, it's a little bit different than the record, but it's fun because we have some of those sections where we kind of interplay like that and, kind of play off each other and, make it more unique rather than just hearing us play the live song. So it's nice. We definitely have that feel that I guess our fathers kind of passed on to us of, we're still true to the song, but we love to improv as well.
Right. Now, the opening band on this leg of the tour is River Kittens.
Oh, they're
And
awesome.
I had never heard of them before. I looked them up so I could do my research, my due diligence, and I fell in love with them, and they are just amazing. And of course, they have a new video, the animated video Trouble, and the new EP. But what can you tell us about them that probably people don't know?
Well, I signed, this is Devon. I signed them to my label, about 6 months ago. They were a real, like they're scenesters from St. Louis. They've been out for 7 years. They've been honing their craft in front of shit, like at shit bars with, 8 people in it that are giving them little golf claps. Like they paid their dues. They worked on their craft. Their voices harmonized flawlessly. They're captivating. They're funny. They're naughty. They're ironic. There's a good percentage of comedy in their set. Really great songwriters too. Like I'm just floored. Working with them was a dream. We did 6 songs. We went to Sun Studios, which is the first place Johnny Cash and Elvis ever recorded. And we got to actually, go in there after hours of the museum, tour of the studio and actually record them there in a historic place was unbelievable. I think they have just the potential to really kick ass in this industry. I love them personally. If you're coming out to, any of the shows here in Florida while we're on our tour, get there early. Don't miss the River Kittens. They're the real deal. You'll walk away blown away. They're really great. And I'm not just saying that because I own the label that they're signed to. I really do love them. Like there's something special about them.
Yeah, they're great. The music's great. They make you feel good. And, like Devon said, they're just genuine.
Yeah.
When I looked them up, I knew they had been around a while because I had seen that they had done a So Far show. And I was pretty active for a time with So Far here in Tampa. So, and of course, that's a platform to give some exposure to these independent artists. And I thought that was really cool that they had done that. Tell us a little bit about the record label that you're, and I think that says a lot about you, Devon, in regards to signing a female act, because I think women in the music business have a real tough road because they don't get a lot of street creds. They don't get a lot of attention most of the time. They have to work harder to get exposure. So I think that's amazing that you signed them, but tell us a little bit about the label.
The label is an act of philanthropy. It's about launching some careers. You know what I mean? Like I really, by construct, I sign the band or artist, I produce their record, and then they come open for the Allman Betts band. That's the construct. So they instantly have a crowd, and I want to do one a year and launch a career a year. If they put me in a box at age 86 and I've launched 25 careers, boom. That's great. Like, that's what I want. There's not any labels nurturing artists. And it's tough to start a label, quite frankly, during a time when albums don't sell. I mean, I'm 6 figures into this label, haven't made much of it back at all. So it's not about a money thing. It's about getting these folks signed, getting them signed, getting them a career, getting them in front of people. I think when we check in with River Kittens in 2 years, I think that, instead of 2,000 Instagram followers and 10,000 Facebook and all that, I think that they'll have 3 records out. I think that they'll be, at 100,000 fans. I think they'll be out there on their own tours playing to 600-700 people a night. And that's the goal. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's about giving people a shot.
Yeah. And I'm sure you'll be helping some other female artists along the way. I think,
And
I think that's super important.
I want, younger, older, black, white, Latina, Asian, like gay, lesbian, male, female, it doesn't matter. I want diversity on the label. Like music is so diverse and so rich. I mean, I would never want to just be like, I'm just going to sign white blues rock dudes. Like, how boring is that? You know what I mean? So I want to spread it around. The next group I'm looking at is actually, they're all under the age of 17. They live in Kenya, and they're called Lone Tree, and they're all under the age of like 17, and they're all expats. So they're all from like America.
I know
England.
exactly. I know exactly who you're talking about. Actually, we covered them at Rock at Night. I believe I did an interview or a write-up on them.
Yeah, I'm poking around them. There's a couple brothers in Atlanta that have a really great modern rock band. You know, so I'm always keeping my eyes open.
You're listening to Rock at Night.
Yeah, absolutely. Now I'm going to ask you some questions about the merch, and I know this seems kind of shallow, but you have the guitar strap, which is really cool. Where did that come from? Did that come from a saddle? Because it has that big piece of round brass circular.
No. Thank you, but no, that's the strap that my uncle Duane Allman wore back in '69 and '70 and '71.
Oh,
And
how
that was
amazing!
And that was handmade by a guy named Zebo. And basically, when I started touring, I called up Zebo and I said, "Hey, man, make me one. I want to honor my uncle." And then I was like, "Well, shit, let's honor the fans and allow them to buy that." You know, we went into business together, and you know, we sell some here and there. They're very expensive to make. Unfortunately, it's all handmade, the brass ring, the leather. But man, it's an heirloom quality. You know, you hand it down to your kids, and it's a nice little nod to my uncle.
That is so cool, and I really had no idea where it came from.
Yeah.
But now I will let people know and hopefully get you some more buyers for that. But you also, as a Leo, it's got to be about the heat because you're a fire sign, and you've got the hot sauce for sale too. You're not going to give anybody your secret recipe, I'm sure, but do you sell a lot of that?
Yeah, I mean, you know, the people can go on the website and see all the merch. You know, It's all there. It's all sitting there. I mean, if I had a story for every piece of merch, we'd be here till tonight at 9 o'clock, right?
Mm-hmm.
The hot sauce is good, man. Yeah, we try to have some different stuff besides t-shirts, you know, so that's why you're seeing some unique items. But yeah, if you go to allmanbetsband.com and get out your credit card, we'll take your money.
Okay, I will. Now, the next question I had was about your legacy. What's next for the band?
Oh man, just keep on grooving, right?
I mean, you know, we do what we do, and you know, again, the band's still growing in a lot of ways. You know, we're still a young band in a lot of ways, so it's, you know, we're just enjoying kind of discovering each other. I mean, we're all good friends now, but you know, every day the music grows even further, as does our connection with each other, and you know, that comes through in the music. I mean, we're just getting to that point where we really can, in a like Jedi way, just kind of feel each other and know what we're doing. You know, the idea is definitely to make a third record, you know, if not sooner, later, and you know, just keep, you know, having this last year down for everybody has been kind of tough. So we're excited to be out and playing again. And I think right now that's kind of the focus. You know, we want to get back to rocking and sharing the music with our fans. So right now that's kind of the priority. And, you know, again, we'll move on to record number 3 soon, but right now we just need to get rocking and enjoy each other and bring the music to the people.
It's like, you know, in the movies, like when they come back to the summer house or the house, and there's like sheets all over the furniture and like the inch of dust.
Yeah.
Right.
That's us right now.
Yeah.
We're peeling off the sheets and dusting off the house and getting it ready for people to come in.
Exactly.
What can you say to having so much downtime? Was it downtime for you, or did it give you a chance to create more?
It's a little bit different for everybody. I mean, we all we all have I mean, yeah, everybody did a little writing, and so I know this is Barry. Personally, you know, I have a big family, 4 kids still in the house, so I just kind of enjoyed being a, you know, dad and doing my domestic fare. So, But, everybody kind of did the best they could with that time to, just keep themselves sane and busy. So, again, it's nice to be back in rocking.
I mean, it was a shitty time for a lot of people. I mean, everybody lost, work, and, people lost family members and stuff like that, but like, we're the human race, right? We have to make the best of it. We have to forge ahead. There's no, okay, well, we're going to give up because of this. I mean, so I think that it was really important for the band to try and work in whatever capacity we could. We made a music video in everybody's backyard and put it all together. If you want to watch that, it's really cool. It's called Long Gone, Allman Betts Band, Long Gone, and it's on YouTube. We got together and filmed that video out in Joshua Tree for Pale Horse Rider when there was like nobody on airplanes. We were doing it. Did a little traveling, a lot of cooking, a lot of, spinning of the vinyl, and just trying to stay safe and, try and ride it out like everybody else. But I think we were one of the first bands to kind of get out there and say, okay, well, what can we do? And we did like pod shows. We did drive-in movie theater shows. We did socially distanced shows. And I think we picked and chose kind of the right stuff, and now we're here, and it feels almost normal.
Did you coordinate a lot of music online?
Well, how do you mean?
Like, doing music back and forth on Zoom or other platforms?
No. Usually we'll talk about stuff like that. But, when it comes down to writing or messing with each other on tunes, we kind of wait till we're in person with each other. And then
That's a personal thing.
We'll sit down with the guitars or whatnot and just kind of throw those things back and forth with each other. But we didn't really do that on Zoom. It was more just like keeping in touch with each other.
Yeah, we'd have like every couple of weeks hangs, we'd have a Zoom hangout and everybody talk about what they're up to, and
right.
If we want to approve the next round of dates or whatever. But I read an article where James and Lars from Metallica tried doing some writing, and the latency issues with like Zoom and stuff just frustrated them. And I'm like, that's an in-person thing,
Yeah. So what would you like your listeners on this tour to know about this tour and the band that we haven't discussed? Any final words?
Hot sauce and a hot girlfriend. I'm just playing with you.
No, we're just back. We're ready to move forward, and we're glad. The fans are coming back out, and people are, we're pretty much right there. We're an open book. I mean, all the social medias and our own website and whatnot. We're just back. We just want to get back to living, and we want our fans to do the same. Like, come out and celebrate with us.
We are back.
Yeah.
Our tour laminates that are the backstage passes are a ripoff of Empire Strikes Back, the logo, the Star Wars logo. It says Allman Betts Band Strikes Back.
Yeah.
And on the back it has Yoda, and it says
on tour again.
Back on tour we are.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well,
we're just idiots, really. Thanks for your time today. Thanks for
we'll
letting us
see you
shoot it a little
Friday.
too.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Bye-bye now.
Thank you.
Hey, this is Barry Oakley of the Allman Betts Band, and you're listening to Rock at Night.
The introductory song, Get On Down, is from blues artist Billy Bass Alford. Look for his music at ReverbNation.com.